Hi everyone, I am Randranath GK. I am a Chartered Accountant. I qualified in 2012 and have been serving in PricewaterhouseCoopers till recently as a assurance practitioner. For 8 years I was there, and during this tenure I also dealt training people in the field of ISA, AS, Ind AS, IFRS, IGAP, most of it which falls under IGAP and IGAS. So this is a short brief about me, and today I want to give you a glimpse of one of the important topics of our profession for chartered accountants. So that's professional skepticism. I know it's not new; it's been preached from ages, but I thought I'll just touch upon a few important topics. So that's the reason I've divided the topic into 4 buckets. So I'll deal as to why do we need to follow this, and what is this, and how do I follow this, and how do I demonstrate that I follow this. So these are the 4 important things. When I say demonstrate, do not forget, I'm speaking about the most crucial thing in audit profession. That's how do I document and say that I've done. Okay, this is how I've planned to cover the topic. So now, why should we cover this? Very simple. I can bucket it into 2 things. One, for us, we don't want to have audit risk. I don't want to give a wrong audit opinion. Second, obviously the regulators. How can we forget? Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, one of our own regulator, MCA, SEBI, NAFRA, RBI, QRB, and if I'm handling any of the US reportings, PCOB, and similar regulators in other countries. And if I go in depth, I think almost the entire government is regulators for auditors, because each and every department follows or regulates different industry, and that's how they would directly or indirectly have a power to regulators or get involved in our profession as a regulator. Okay, yeah. So now I think that clarifies on why should we follow professional skepticism. Okay, so now what is it? So when I want to give you the meaning of it, 2 standards are DLE standards, SA 200 or ISA, and SA 240. So now, when I speak about these 2 standards, SA 200 obviously the objectives. What does SA 200 actually speak? So, when an auditor plans and perform audit, this standard wants us to do it with an attitude of professional skepticism. Okay, so this is one. Second, SA or ISA 240, it says that we should have a reasonable assurance that financial statements are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. Obviously, these 2 DLE words we cannot forget. So, to follow this, I should exercise professional skepticism. So now, what is professional skepticism? So these standards deal in explaining it. So if I have to read the standard, it says, professional skepticism is an attitude that includes a questioning mind and being alert to the conditions which may, it doesn't say which must or which will, which may indicate possible misstatement due to fraud or error. Okay, and now comes the important picture. You remember this? And critical assessment of the audit evidence. Okay, this is how the standard explains what is professional skepticism. Okay, So now coming back to what. So this is, we just cover the meaning. So now let us go forward. How do I demonstrate professional skepticism? Okay. So if you'll have to explain this concept to a layman, uh, I would just try to simply put it in a layman's word. For me, professional skepticism is the common sense, or I can say the professional common sense. Okay. So if I have to just link this to our example which we come across in our life, say let's take an example of we going to buy a car. Do you really think we'll fall for all the assurances what the car dealer and the well-experienced salesman gives? Obviously not. We do our checks, we do research, we get the reviews, we depend on the internal available information which the car dealer has given. We also get the information from the market, right? In the same way, and also we cannot forget the plenty or say so a number of questions which we pose to the salesman, right? On a car, it's a simple car, it's a tangible asset, but we are speaking about our intangible asset, our own reputation or the reputation of this profession, right? Just imagine if we are exercising so much so much care, and we are doing so much research just to buy a car. Just imagine how much should we exercise these kind of things to save our profession, right? So there comes the topic or the important thing on how do I demonstrate. It is just being open. Do not fall for what the client says. Or I normally tell my professional colleagues or my professional partners, accept but verify. Okay? I'm not saying just accept. You accept but verify. Okay? It's like trust but verify. You trust the client. Good. You should have the trust. But as an auditor, you also have the duty to verify, right? You cannot say in your audit report that I have reported based on the trust. Just I'll give you a simple example. Say we review the depreciation workings. Say in this era of where leases came into picture, right? We cannot forget our IFRS 16 or Ind AS 116. If the client says, or say if I question the client, why is the depreciation shorter? And if the client says, that's because increase in asset. Can we accept this and move forward? Or forget about IFRS 16. Even in non-IFRS 16 scenario, can I accept it and move forward? I cannot, right? I would have to question it. I would want to challenge the client. I would want to do a research. I would want to corroborate evidence and a lot more, right? So we can use the internal data what we have, we can link it to the market, we can link it to the industry, competitors, and see what's happening. And the standard, and if there's any change in the accounting policy, or is there any fraud where the management wants to book lesser profit or increase the profit. We never know, right? These can be the different results that one doubt can lead to. You never know, right? But we cannot bear that risk. So I have a mantra of 3 C's for professional skepticism. So the first C, corroborate. Second C, challenge. Third C, consult. Corroborate is where get as much as information, right information, purposeful information, get it from any source. Challenge. Keep challenging yourself, your own thoughts, your team, client's management board. Challenge and try to understand if the client is wrong, or our team is wrong, or we are wrong, or if something is wrong in the books, right? Third one, consult, right? When I say consult, obviously we have a standard which says we're relying upon the work of other auditors or relying on audit experts, management expert, right? We have so many tools, we have so many teams, we have different sources on how we can corroborate evidence, right? And get it. So corroborate evidence, challenge all the times, and consult and ensure that your audit is risk free, right? Error free. Okay. So this is how I can demonstrate, how I can preach professional skepticism. So now demonstrate. Okay. So now say you come to review my books or say to review my audit work papers, and you challenge me to say, GK, you tell me, how have you given a clean opinion on this? Can I say I did the audit? I felt there were no audit issues, or there were no issues which can lead to qualification or modification of the report, so I gave clean report. I cannot do that, right? Though I say that, I should obviously have documentation. So this is exactly our lifeblood of audit profession. At any point of time, I should have necessary work paper to demonstrate that I have followed the requirements of the standard. I have exercised professional skepticism whenever required. I have made proper inquiries, I have made proper checks, I have audited the documents, and quite a lot. Unless we document, we cannot stand in front of a regulator and justify our work, right? So just doing the work doesn't end our responsibility. Documenting and retaining it to the extent the law requires, so that's utmost important in our profession, right? So do not forget this 3 mantras what I said: corroborate, challenge, and consult. Right? And this is a short glimpse of professional skepticism, which I have learned in my 8 to 10 years of my audit experience, and also in my experience of training with the professionals or upcoming professionals, or articles in IGAS and IGAP. So stay tuned to know more about audit updates and quite a lot. Signing off, Ranjana GK. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your time.